Thank you so much for joining me here today on this live, whatever time you choose to join me. Today is Wednesday, the 20th. I believe it's the 20th of March. I really should know this before I come on. Yes, but it's definitely Wednesday and we're definitely in March. I'm here with another live stream blog. And today I'm going to share with you 10 of the worst, 10 of the crappiest things that I believed that I needed to do in order to lose weight. I'm going to share that with you. And we're going to dive into it in just a moment. So good morning. I can see I've got some people with me already. Thank you so much for joining me here on this live stream. If this is your first time here at this channel, my name is Angela and welcome to Time Out with Angela. Here we talk all about the weight loss, the wellness journey and everything to do with that. I'm on a journey to improve my health, change my life, and within that I've lost 117 pounds to date. I was going to say 117 stones. That would be enormous, wouldn't it? 117 pounds to date. Welcome, Horatio. Thank you so much for joining me today. So on this journey, and let me just add, it's been a 40-year journey. 40-year journey, up and down, in and out of different plans, different programs. And then 5 years ago, I rejoined Weight Watchers for the last time and have seen success following that plan, but also doing a few little swaps and, you know, as I've grown and I've developed and I've learned not just about the Weight Watchers program, but I've learned about weight loss in general. I've put into practice things that has helped me to not only lose the weight, but to keep it off. And along the way, on my entire weight loss journey, but also within the weight loss industry and also within the Weight Watchers community, there has been some things that I've heard, that I've learned, that I believed that wasn't helpful on my journey. And those are the crappy, unhelpful things that I had to recognize, and then I ditched. And when I ditched them, I started to really see consistent progress in my weight loss journey. And I'm going to share those with you. I've got a list of 10 of them. So we're going to get into this. So I can see I've got more people with me. Good morning. Great to have you with me today. So 10 of the worst, crappiest weight loss advice and beliefs that I held. Now, as I'm going through these, they may be things that you hear. They may be things that you believe, and it may be things that work for you. And if that's the case, go for it. But this is what I find and have found unhelpful. So let's get going. So the first thing is the mindset of being on track, off track, on the train, off the train, on the wagon, off the wagon, on the roundabout, off the roundabout, whatever it is. That on and off mentality is so common in the weight loss industry. And I used to say that to myself. I used to say, right, I'm going off plan because I'm going on holiday, or I'm not going to be on plan because, you know, it's the weekend and I'm going out with the girls. And then Monday it'd be, right, I need to get back on plan, need to get back on track. Or I used to say, I've fallen off the wagon. Another one I used to say was, I'm on the bus, or I'm not on the bus, or I'm going to get back on the bus. All of these things, this whole, whether it be the bus, the train, the roundabout, the wagon, the car, whatever it was all about being on or off. And I used to, that is so common in the community, and virtually every day I was hearing somebody saying that. And as I said, if that worked for them, go for it. If that works for you, go for it. But for me, it was just so unhelpful, because what that was telling me, every time I was off or on, there was an element of failure there. There's an element of failure. I've fallen off the wagon, which is another word for I've failed. I believe I've failed. And being on the wagon, I'm getting back on the wagon, getting back on the on track, was kind of like I'm pushing a steel ball up a hill. I need to get back into the swing of it. So that for me, ridiculously unhelpful. And when I stopped thinking about my journey in those terms, everything just kind of changed, because now I was thinking about I'm living my life. I'm living my life, and I'm living the plan and the program. And if I go on holiday, I'm going to, make the choices that I want and make the very best choice, rather than thinking I'm going on holiday, everything's good. Because that is that whole all or nothing mentality. I'm either doing it or I'm not. And for me, because it's kind of like, and I think about this in terms of medication. As many of you know, I've suffered with some health challenges, and I'm on medication. And I don't ever think, well, I'm going on holiday, so I'm not going to take my medication. I don't think, or when I get back from the weekend away, I'll get back on my medication. No. I take it regardless. It's part of my lifestyle. So I had to think about my journey in those terms. I'm just living my life, living the plan, living my journey, making the best choices I can. There is no on the train, off the train, on the track, off the track, on plan, off plan. Yeah, none of that. Ditch that. So that is some of the worst mindset options and choices and things that I've heard in the weight loss community that wasn't helpful for me. Might be helpful for you, but definitely wasn't for me. The next one is I felt that I had to get motivated. I need to get motivated. How can I stay motivated? I need to get motivated. And you know what, funnily enough, I see this a lot. As you know, I'm part of lots and lots and lots of Facebook groups, all to do with slimming, Weight Watchers, Noom, Weight Watchers, Slimming World, calorie counting. I'm part of lots. I sit in lots of groups because, I like to know what's going on. Just nosy. And I hear that almost every day. Somebody is saying, I'm not feeling motivated. Post your pictures so I can get motivated. How can I get motivated? I need somebody to motivate me. And I'm like, when I used to think that, I don't feel motivated. So because I wasn't motivated, I stopped putting all those healthy habits in place. That was when the mindset of I'm on plan, off plan came on. I was either motivated or not motivated until, and guys, I'm a thinker, until I started to really think about this and realizing that motivation only ever gonna get us started. Motivation for me often just gets me one toe out of bed, and then the motivation's gone. I mean, how many times have I thought, right, I'm gonna go to the gym, and get out of bed. And as soon as I'm starting to get ready, the bed looks a better option. Yeah. Or I go shopping and I buy all this food and I think, well, I'm going to cook up a storm. And then I get into the kitchen and I'm like, don't feel like doing it now. Yeah. Motivation only gets you going. And what I've realized is motivation will never, ever, ever get us to our goals. Never. I think about a runner. A runner may get motivated to start the race, but when they're running, especially if it's a long distance race, they're running a marathon. I watch marathon runners and they never look motivated to me. They're not there doing the high fives and bopping about. They are just digging deep. And they're doing it because they're committed. They're committed. And then they just consistently put one foot in front of the other. And they just keep going. So it's commitment and consistency that gets them to the end goal. Never motivation. Never. They may just be motivated to sign up for the race. But then it comes down to sheer hard work. And the weight loss journey is very much like that. People want to stay motivated all the time. Ain't going to happen. And that was me. And until I learned that the motivation was only ever going to get me started, I needed to do something else, then that changed things for me. So yeah, and then, I started to also realize that when I rejoined Weight Watchers, I had 10 stone to lose, 10 stone. And I needed a long-term method and system, for a big problem. Yeah. Losing 10 stone, that was a big problem, and I needed a long-term solution. And being motivated and expecting to be motivated wasn't gonna get me to where I wanted to be. Losing 10 stone was just never gonna happen. Okay, I'm gonna just keep an eye on the time, because I've got meeting. So just keeping an eye on the time. Okay, I've got a few minutes. Okay, so the next piece of crappy, poor quality advice that I was telling myself was to try hard, try harder, just get focused and try harder. And it's kind of like, last summer I was in the gym, and I would see people benching really heavy weights. And I was like, oh, I can do that. I can do that. And I would go and I would try and, like, with the dumbbells, pick up a 20 kilo dumbbell. And I couldn't lift it up off the ground. And it's kind of like saying, just try harder to pick up that 20 kilo dumbbell. Just focus and just try harder to pick that dumbbell up. It's 20 kilos. Ain't gonna happen for me. Might do for you, but it ain't gonna happen for me. It could be 100 kilo. Ain't happening. No matter how hard I try. I could be huffing and puffing and doing all the flexes beforehand and then, squat down to lift it. Ain't gonna happen. So no matter how hard I try, not gonna happen. So the concept that I was telling myself to try harder to lose weight was ridiculous. It was ridiculous to try harder. And what I had to do was say, okay, instead of try harder, let me see what is doable. What is doable? So when I couldn't pick up that 20 kilo dumbbell, I couldn't even pick it up off the rack. I went to a 10 kilo, still couldn't pick up a 10 kilo. Went to an 8 kilo. I could pick that up, but there was no way I was going to do, you know, any bicep curls, etc. with that. That was just too much. So I had to be really realistic, and I had to start off with 4 kilo. 4 kilo. And that was doable. That was doable. And over time, when I was now mastering 4 kilos, I went to 6 kilos. And then 8 kilos. And I was just building up gradually and gradually. And again, I started to look at my weight loss journey in those terms. Instead of thinking, try harder, try harder, try harder, I was now thinking, instead of saying try harder, try harder, try harder, which again was an element of failure. And every time I tried, was telling myself to try harder, and I couldn't do it. Every time I was trying to pick up that 20 kilo dumbbell and I couldn't do it, I kept thinking, there's something wrong with me. What's wrong with me? Why can't I do this? It was ruining my self-esteem, my self-belief, my self-confidence. So I had to go, just keep it going down and down. And somebody said to me the other day, I did a live about this week, and somebody said that they were feeling really overwhelmed on the journey, and the advice that they'd been given was just to start tracking and track everything. And I said, no, don't do that. What you need to do is just choose one meal and focusing on that, making sure it's a good quality meal, and then track that, just one, and then build it up slowly, rather than going for the 20 kilo and we can't do that, and then we just think, I can't do this, it's never going to happen, and we throw the baby out with the bathwater. And the same with tracking. It's like, track everything, and then that becomes overwhelming and we end up doing nothing. So it's better to start off like I did with weights, just starting off with something really truly doable and building it up. So yeah, the concept of just try harder next time, just try harder, you know. Or next week, I'm going to really have a good week and I'm going to try really hard next week. No, I had to get rid of that thinking. The next thing, that another piece of crappy advice, really poor quality advice and information and things that I learned on the weight loss journey, was this concept of just eat healthy. Eat a healthy meal and a balanced meal. And I have said that to myself for decades, and it's something that I even say to people, you know, just have a healthy meal, make some healthy choices. And last week I did a vlog, and I started the conversation of what is healthy, what does healthy look like. We talk about it, it rolls off the tongue, you know, just make a healthy choice, have a healthy meal, you know, we want to be healthier. And I said I wanted to start a conversation about that, and to talk about what is healthy, what does that look like, what do we mean when we say healthy. And yeah, that was something I would always say to myself, right, let's just have a healthy meal, have a balanced meal, you know. And again, I'm really unpicking that because, you know, I got to the point where I thought the healthy meal or the healthy choice was maybe salad, maybe some protein and a little bit of carbs. And I'm not saying that that's not healthy. It absolutely is. That is a good choice. But so is having that bar of chocolate when you need it, when I need it, when we're stressed, when we're grieving, when we're having a difficult time. Sometimes the salad just won't cut it, and sometimes having that donut is what we need in the moment to soothe us. Doesn't mean we're going to have it every day or every time, but sometimes that is what's healthy because it supports our mindset and supports our mental health in the moment. So yeah, I really want to sort of do a lot more videos around healthy and talk a bit more about that. But yeah, that was something else that I was telling myself, have something healthy. And I was doing exactly that. I was restricting and denying myself the donut, the slice of cake, because I thought that that was healthy and that was how I needed to lose weight. But then again, realised that actually, whilst that might have been healthy physically, it wasn't healthy for my mindset. Because when I chose not to have it because I thought that's what I shouldn't have it, then later that day or the next day or later that week, I absolutely had a massive blowout. And just instead of having a slice, ate the whole cake. Yeah, that's not healthy. That's not healthy at all. So yeah, you know, I had to really think about, what do I mean when I say healthy? Healthy meals, healthy choices, healthy habits. What does that mean to me rather than what it means to other people and within the industry? Another piece of advice, and something that I learned in the weight loss community that in my opinion was really crappy, really poor, was, you know, got to get that workout every day. Got to go, got to move every single day. Got to go for that walk, got to go to the gym, got to do the workout activity every single day. Again, that was setting me up for failure, because of my health, there were some days I couldn't do that, and that again was knocking my confidence. And I just felt that I had to do it. And then on days like today, it's damp, it's wet, you know I'm going to struggle to walk when I get out of this car. That's a given. So for me to think, right, I've got to go for a walk, it's just too much for me. So I had to change that narrative and say, okay, for me, going for a walk or working out every single day is not realistic. What's realistic for me is doing what I can when I can, but without the shame and without the guilt. But the concept that you have to do something every day, no, not everybody can. It might be that, you haven't worked out in a gym ever in your life, and you go there for, and you spend a good hour, and then you're laid up for 3 days afterwards because your body is so sore. That concept of you've got to do something every day, again, puts in the mindset that we're failing, and we're not. Oh, I had to get rid of that mindset. The other thing that I often heard in the weight loss community is the mindset of, this works for me, so it's going to work for you. I see that all the time on Facebook groups, people saying, well, you should try this. This has worked for me. It's going to work for you. And I'll think, oh, I'm really pleased it's worked for you, but it's not going to work for everybody because we're all so different. So yeah, it's we're all different, and we just have to be careful not to impose our beliefs and what works for us on other people. And yeah, and I think that's why when I do these lives, I always say, this has worked for me, it might not work for you. Just being careful to be aware of it. I have got this, a couple more things, three more things I want to talk about, guys, but I'm looking at the time and I have to be in the office because I've got a meeting in 3 minutes. Oh my goodness. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to commit to this. I'm going to come back at lunchtime. I'm going to come back at lunchtime and I'm going to finish this off today. Because tomorrow I want to flip it on its head, this topic, and talk about the things that I put in place that really helped me to shift past all of these things. So yeah, I can't believe you know, the time just whizzes by so quickly. But yeah, guys, come back. Well, if you've got your notification bell on, you'll know when I'm back. But I will come back at lunchtime and finish these sessions off. I've got to get into the office now because we've got a meeting and then we start at 9. So thank you so much for being with me today. If you're finding my lives and these quick live streams of value, then hit that thumbs up and leave a comment below. I'd love to know if these are helping you. Okay, guys, I will see you at lunchtime. Take care now. Bye.